Well, I guess it gets split into multiple videos then, because I made the glorious mistake of lightly touching the keyboard, and that immediately ended it. So now instead of there being one nice, clean video, it's all messy, and there is nothing that can be done to fix that, because of course that would happen. Why would I ever assume something would just go along with the hilarious way I had planned it? Of course, a different sense of humor has to override my own. Alright, well, at least it wasn't in the middle of something. That would have driven me insane. Um, Alright, yeah. Um, Things will get better when you're by yourself. On those long tired nights when you cannot sleep and you're shivering with fright and you're gonna weep because you're all alone, because you're on your own, you need someone to lie next to you. While you dawdle along, you will sing a song of misery to get you through the day, and you've got something to say, but you have no one to tell. You need somebody to talk to you. When you're by yourself, it may feel like hell, and not much better when anyone is close. But when that one girl is there who can take off the edge, she lets you know you don't need to be scared. As you're falling down and your rivals are crowned, you may desire a chance to give in. But you're told things get better, so you hold on regardless of what you know shall not come to be. Once the loneliness peaks, you can no longer speak. You're simply trapped inside your own mind. Soon you will find out how everyone's lied. The improvements will never occur. When you're by yourself, it will leave you unwell, and it never gets better, whoever is near. And when that one girl is there, who will scorn, and when that one girl is there, you will scorn to her stare, because you know she never really cared. When your life is low and won't deny that it's so, and you can't find your way onto the victory road, then I've got to tell you, things will get better, and I know it's cliché, but believe what I say, 'cause it looks like I stayed around for another day. Things will get better when your love is gone. Things will get better and your spirit lives on. When you know it's all lost and your heart is crisscrossed, there, there usually is no good reason to stay. But I've got to tell you, things will get better, and I know it's cliché, but believe what I say, 'cause it looks like I stayed around for another day. Things will get better when all reason is gone. Things will get better, and your soul will live on. Trust me when I tell you, I've been right where you are. I've seen just how shallow and brief their liars. They let your thoughts become twisted, and they don't even care. They're simply umpteen, and they're simply unfair. But things will get better, I can promise you, friend. Things do get better. One bad day is not the end. Things will get better when your love is gone. Things will get better and your spirit lives on. Your spirit lives on. Peace lilies. In her garden down in London, hedges are high, breaching the sky, and I know it's silly, but her peace lilies make me want to cry. Peace lilies, saw them in a local store. Peace lilies, cheaper than they were before. If I had them then, things would be different and how they should. Hair up or down, a smile or frown, she leaves me on cloud nine. Though I'm still doing fine, and I know it's silly, but her peace lilies hurt me deep inside. Peace lilies, saw them in a local store. Peace lilies, cheaper than they were before. If I had them then, things would be different, and how they should. Please return my shoes, mister. Please return my shoes, mister. Return my shoes, mister. Please return my shoes, mister. My shoes now. Please return my shoes, mister. Return my shoes, mister. Please return my shoes, mister. My shoes now. Where have I put my shoes? I left them right here, but they simply seem to have disappeared. Wait a second, over there is a large man, and he's holding both my shoes in each of his hands, so. Please return my shoes, mister. Return my shoes, mister. Please return my shoes, mister. My shoes now. Please return my shoes, mister. Return my shoes, mister. Please return my shoes, mister. My shoes now. Wait, this is my song. Please return my song, mister. Return my song, mister. Please return my song, mister. My song now. Song for the Soul. Close your eyes and see more than ever before. Shut your ears and feel no tears. With a blink you can sink beneath the soil, allowing you to grow anew. Cleansed and free, you let it be, and you give in to the Lord of your mind. He rules over you, but who would do a thing against him and his creations, as they tear your proclamations, opening your limitations? Don't try drown us down, it won't work. Live your lives free and drift ashore into my sea. Far gone. Behind her tears, she masks her fears. She laughs when sad, and weeps when glad. We can't help her when she's this far gone. Don't even try to, it's been so long. With perfume and incense, she has no strong defense. With slave labor jewelry, she denies your pity. The tricks of the trade ensure she gets paid. A couple of pennies and pounds she has made. We can't help her when she's this far gone. Don't even try to, it's been so long. He really isn't real. They're all such good lads, they never could turn out bad. But with things like jihads, because of Quran, it's easy to see why our friends do act so. They were not just misled, and if you say no, then please explain why their friends are now dead. Christianity, Islam, the Bible and Quran. Look at the war that was always in store. Just boycott religion, oh please, I implore. There once was a young girl who did feel quite ill, and so called up her Christian healer. But he could not treat her, religion's no doctor, and so he just gave her advice. Now she took this on board, and with pure petrol sword, she sadly did take her own life. Christianity, Islam, the Bible and Quran. Look at the war that was always in store. Just boycott religion, oh please, I implore. Oh, this one is so long. Annuality. He wakes up in the night, and to his joy sees a wondrous sight. All Christmas time predictions lied, and now legions of snow arrived. January brings such glorious things, with pitch-black nights and New Year fights, lit by the new moon shine so bright. Then comes February, gorgeous winter weddings, Valentine's Day is so merry, hugs and kisses, young love wishes, always a pretty girl, to throw you in a swirl, shall shake your entire world, demand from you precious pearls. Happy times, spring brings life. Sunny days will leave you gay, dancing gleefully with merriful delight. The fallen king of Rye casts down bloodlight. Births are plentiful, short skirts in preschool, and Black Queen's death puts March to rest. It's time to creep downstairs, my friend. This Easter cycle's come again. Easter eggs, chocolate torrents, Christ has been remembered when. April can be such a thrill, but for God's sake, your Lord was killed. Please don't celebrate the old holidays, because if you don't believe, simply choose to leave. What can I say about the month of May? Still not time to play. Summer hangs far away, spring's got right to stay. Quite frustrating, sat there waiting. On my own, I'm all alone. How I pray that one fine day, in the month of May, I'll at last be paid with new comrades, so I won't be on my own, won't be all alone. Doesn't go this way, things turn to grey. June and darkness looms. The sun shines bright. Inside I fight, trying to decide if I'm wrong or right. I want it now, but there's no how. 'Tis beyond my reach, and like a peach, my core is hard. Spirit's been charred. The summer sun, it should mean fun. I take a gun against my lungs. I thought I'd won. Death's just a pun. In July, for joy I try. I'm just one guy. Once more I breathe. The rain it grieves. The fire did strive in. Since water was sin. Gave it blue powder monkeys and tacky tigers. Each crystal droplet becomes hiders, in low riders, draped in spiders. Just to please me, the great bee king, known as Bladewing, rode to the city of the fireflies, and you can work out what these lines have to do with the month July. St. Augustine is turning green, and wonderful voice leaving earth now, changing around and targeting Slough, raises to the ground, earns Augustine a brand new feather pound, sitting in an English garden, still waiting for a sunny day to appear upon my forehead. The winter newlyweds, each own half a bed, every word is uttered with dread. August divorce, with no remorse, love them of course. By September, really hope, I don't remember why I loved you, my Rebecca. September's been, it's Halloween, the Pumpkin King, October brings. Leaves wither and die, trees start to cry, celebration in the city of the fireflies. In Devil's Night, fears uptake flight, fires gleaming white, a wondrous sight. As the blade pushes against his neck, he starts to cry like a fucking toddler. November rain is heard again, its lyrics have been tamed, and its message is in vain. Vulgar, views and vile, Mr. Fawkes has been defiled. It's been going on a while, before you were a child. November pretenders, like young offenders, just defenders, formed their teams against the fascist regimes. In December, you remember, January, winter fairies, they do their dances, subtle advances, take your chances, have fun all days, except for Mondays, join the shortlist, caught by tempests, and you're left out, but just remember. December, 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 new Annam birthed, and your year ends here. December, 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 for reference see Temperance, she will point you to left, for your shiny platinum sixpence. Fly away, come away with me. I look down your family tree. I find fire and water, and them for theming, sugar-coated half-truths, and when for whemming. I teach myself how to make a snow angel. I am delighted. Christmas time. Faux gold bells chime. New Year's Eve. I'm drunk, I believe. Cyber tigers. New Year riders. The charred turkey's why I'm here. It's not bad. December, December, December. Climate change. As much I know, is the reason there's no snow. December, is there anybody out there? Ember December. Pleasure palace filled with guests. The host can't cope. Steal a young lad from the luncheon. They take him down to their dungeon. Leave him food so as to function. Running through a space collider. Fighting troops of giant spiders. Only aimed with my Dikrove. Fend off 8-legs in their droves. My friends are here. Mind if I go out and not come back again? Well, thanks a lot. But that's Sparks. I forgot. Just keep to yourself. Paying for your fare on the financial subway, ordering you a meal from the diner of despair, fastening your necklace with the hands of magpies, I'll fly you past your destination and land you in the field of lies. I trust you with my hopes and dreams, though none of that is as it seems, and if you ask me for the truth, I'll tell you what you want to hear, because it's so much easier than saying what I know you'll fear. Why would I tell you when there's nothing you could do? It isn't even relevant. Would you be for the hell of it? Would you just be for the hell of it? So stop asking questions in routine like it's profession, just keep to yourself. Trapped in a tornado. Trapped in a tornado, with the wind thrashing through my hair. Trapped in a tornado, take a look for yourself, I dare. Cattle flying past me, fences torn from the ground. People flying past me, their lips are moving but I hear no sound. Corn spins in a spiral. Aerial screws attempt to land. Quiet, I think, it's time now. Be indiscreet, yet grand. Trapped in a tornado, with the wind thrashing through my hair. Trapped in a tornado, take a look for yourself, I dare. Trapped in a tornado, trapped here like Toledo. Trapped in a tornado, trapped, trapped, trapped. Headache. I've got a headache every day. I gotta live it. It shouldn't stay. I've got a headache. It pounds and pounds. I feel the sounds in my brain. I can't cope. I want to change, but things remain the same. I want a doctor. Headache. I've got a headache. I've got a headache. 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 Yeah. There's a rhythm in my mind. "3:52 a.m. Hello down there, my love. I gaze upon you from above. You'll take your hate for me straight to the grave. But it's a little late, I am afraid. I am already a loyal slave. I write for you, my dear, and I do it in the night. I shouldn't tell you what I feel. You take it in a distasteful light, resulting in a dreadful fight. The stonework What the? Chet? Oh. Okay, I can guess that. The stonework cherubs move, in time to the groove. What they lack in consciousness, they make up for with their trust. The sun is rising sharp. My court jester plays his harp. The crowd starts calling out, and their wishes enter the room. It was the unfallen king, and a silence did commence, and his intentions were made hence, and I began to sing. The House of the Rising Sun. In the glass of the house of the rising sun, colors dance and twirl. Look past the mortar, trapped by brick. There's a priest with a candy praying. There's a priest with a candle praying. For hunger and poverty, yacht club seats left empty, recession paired depression. Stare into the children's souls and make them whole in the house of the rising sun. At the head of the house, portrayed white, shines the sparing light, piercing the night. To the far right, his light can fix all, but it's left in a hidden cave. Because he'd worked so hard, the finances grew erect, striding in his uncle poor for the lesser's dissection. Tommy didn't know why. The generals always chastised. Tommy lost his brother, his mother's only son. It should be fun. She took a rifle to her temple, the temple of the rising sun. Pizza in a red room. They took dud ease, and garden shrooms, tripping like a cripple. The thirst consumed, then spread like fumes. Watching over a megalodon. Milkless tea time has just begun. Please would pass her a cheery, jam-filled scone. Feed your temptations in the house of the rising sun. The house of the rising sun, built by the dead queen's son. The positions run him ragged, the foundation to the core stands jagged. To the eyes of the rising sun, there is no much more he could have done. When you listen for a heartbeat, you learn that nothing could come out of this. Regard it as a positive. You learn there's nothing to declare that could result in something fair, because the downfall has begun inside the glass and now past the brick. The priest's flame burned straight through the wick of the candle in the house of the rising sun. Button Moon. We're off to Button Moon. We'll follow Mr. Spoon to Button Moon. Look, a hot crust sun. It'll taste great in my tum. A hot crust sun. We take a detour past Mars in our supersonic cars. We fly past Mars. I can see them holding hands, the Iron Woman and Tin Pot Man. They're holding hands. All I see is pink and blue. There's a vortex in view. It's pink and blue. Mr. Spoon says hold on tight. The scary colors leave my sight. I hold on tight. Mr. Spoon starts speaking strange. He's leaking from his veins. His screams are strange. Our outcomes look bleak. We're torn out from our seats. The outcome's bleak. As I drift around space, a distant light shines in my face, and I embrace both that and faith. "3:53 a.m. Listen up out there, because you must be made aware that in the darkest recesses of your soul there are things that you would never ever dream of doing, no. But when you are upon the brink, this is the time you'll stop to think, and then you'll realize that the bad thing in your heart and never ever anything you should not endeavor, 'cause when you want to take revenge, there's just one thing which that depends on. When you were wronged, was it simple, or was it something to kill for? Does the guy deserve to live, or is his life force yours to give and take away, like you should today. The bad is over, so's the good. The situation demands to be understood. It's not complicated. You're overrated. Hello, my dears. The future's here. Listen up out there. I know you're scared. Just be prepared. The fallen king's repaired. The end. Everything's over for me and my covers, because we have lost it again, and again we have tried, yet each time the decision has met its collision until it reached the end. Without resolve, my life dissolved, leaving behind a pitiful Without resolve, my life dissolved, leaving behind a pitiful rind. If you look closely at what I became, I'm sure you would be so compelled you'd have to do the same. Because let's face it, at the end, it all depends upon who you are and where you start, not what your aim is. Aims equal failure. The end is nearing, for me the king. Now take a seat and rest your feet, right now. Everything's become overbearing. Everyone, everywhere, chants my name, calls for one less song. All you know is wrong. Concept 2. Come and join our circus. Come and join the fun. Oh, come and see our jugglers. The show has just begun. Now nothing could prepare you for the sights you're about to see. There are clowns and tightrope walkers, if you'll simply follow me. Oh, come and see the frenzy, 'cause we'll leave magic in your eyes. We have a cavalcade of wonder, just waiting to be tried. We'll shake your nerves, leave you on the verge, as our monkey steals your hat. Good. When you begin to see a century fall, and the world around you crumble down, just remember that you have the power to build it right back up again. You're not Superman, but you still can once you begin to understand. All you need to do is be good. Faithful John. Where's good old faithful John? Back where he belongs. What he did was wrong, so we sing a song for good old faithful John. When John was young, he loved to run, and even join in games, but he took it too far when he left the scars, when he set his wife aflame. Where's good old faithful John? Right where he belongs. What he did was wrong, so we sing this song for good old faithful John. It's good old faithful John, good old faithful John, good old faithful John. Effie Dakota. Come take a load off and rest your feet up as I tell you about a girl named Effie Dakota. Warm and loving memories, the best that she will come to see. Calm and cooling centerpiece. Ooh. Cuddling intimately, the best thing she can have for free, is brought to her internally. Ooh, yeah. Knocking on the door of fate to see what for she has to wait. Ember trails throughout her home, but absent from her telephone. Effie, it will be okay. I promise it will be okay. My darling, it will be okay. Effie. She longs to be in royalty, with fortune in her family tree, while subjugated on her knees. Ooh. Sex behind the canopy, discovered, and she has to flee, far out and across the sea. Ooh, yeah. Hides the bad to save the good, and knows that she'll in turn be loved. Why would she reveal the truth when she could keep on saving you? Effie, it will be okay. I promise I will keep you safe. My little flame, don't fade away. Effie. You're all that's on my mind. You're all that's on my mind. There is a guilt in who I am. There's a shame in what I'll be. And as I cling onto the past, I look towards my destiny. I swear my fate must lie with you. I swear there is no fallen king. And I know I just do wrong, not one single decent thing. But you're all that's on my mind. I'll make it up to you one day. You're all that's on my mind. You're all that's on my mind. I've forgotten who I am. I'm afraid of what I'll be. Because if I'm without you, then I'm certainly not me. I think that if I were with you, then there would simply be no choice but to see love in my smile and hear it in my voice. Because you're all that's on my mind, I'll make it up to you one day. You're all that's on my mind. You're all that's on my mind. And I cannot forget when you followed so close, and I sincerely regret having ever approached. I know that I've hurt you, and I let you down. I know that I ended all chances, shattered the crown, but I needed to tell you just how much you mean to me, and that you're all that's on my mind, every single living day. You're all that's on my mind, all that's on my mind. I'll make it up to you one day. All that's on my mind, all that's on my mind, all that's on my mind. I feel alive. Hear me and more, for my words adore the one who got away. And when she speaks, my heart gently creaks. Inside it feels so true. Dreams and delights, here in the night. It's true, it's you. Clinging to the light, always holding tight. I feel alive. Her very form is pure, and she makes me feel secure. She opens up my eyes, there's a tingling inside. Like nothing else provides, she brings such happiness. And even when we die, I'll take your hand in mine. You're warm, so warm. Clinging to the light, always holding tight, I feel alive. Clinging to the light, always holding tight, I feel alive. Yeah, this makes sense. So those two were made into this. Alright. You're not alone. On those long tired nights when you cannot sleep and you're shivering with fright and you're gonna weep, 'cause you're all On those long tired nights when you cannot sleep and you're shivering with fright and you're gonna weep, 'cause you're alone, you're on your own, you need someone to lie next to you. While you dawdle along, you will sing a song of misery to get you through the day, and you've got something to say but you have no one to tell. You need somebody to talk to you. When you're by yourself, it may feel like hell, and not much better when anyone's close. But when that one girl is there who can take off the edge, she lets you know there's no need to be scared. When your life is low, I won't deny that it's so, and you can't find your way onto the victory road, then I've got to tell you, things will get better, and I know it's cliché, but believe what I say, 'cause it looks like I stayed around for another day. You're not alone. You're not alone. And there's no need to fear or hide yourself in tears, because you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. And there's no need to fear or hide yourself in tears, because you're not alone. Once the loneliness peaks, you can no longer speak, you're simply trapped inside your own mind. Soon you will find out how everyone's lied, the improvements will never occur. As you're falling down and your rivals are crowned, you may desire a chance to give in. But you're to... This is just flat out wrong. I'm just gonna have to guess what they're supposed to say. But you're told things get better, so you hold on regardless of what you know shall not come to be. When you're by yourself, it will leave you unwell, and it never gets better, whoever is near. And when that one girl is there, you will scorn to her stare, because you know she never really cared. When you know it's all lost, and your heart is crisscrossed, there is usually no good reason to stay. But I've got to tell you, things will get better. And I know it's cliché, but believe what I say, because it looks like I stayed around for another day. You're not alone. You're not alone. There's no need to fear or hide yourself in tears, because you're not alone. Hmm. Hmm. Time, dreams, maze, clearing. No. Clearing. She stepped into a clearing, a young woman with a life of mundanity. At least it was from her point of view. Her eyes being limited by the curse of men, only able to see ahead of her. She could turn herself, and would still see ahead, or she could dart her eyes while locked in place. But it made no difference, for the things she saw were always the same, ahead and without a trace of what she had left behind. If she could see the past, step outside the view she knew, perhaps she never would have ended up between the trees. What should be green all sides, but instead coated in the white of the air, surrounded by darkness as they fold in on themselves, hiding their true forms from all who ventured into their home. For a woman so determined and focused to become lost would be quite the failure on her part, except for the fact that she was there by choice. Did she choose where she would come to rest at the end of her journey? Almost certainly not, but every action leading her there was her own. She knew love, she knew hate, she knew pleasure, she knew pain. She knew what she wanted at every opportunity, but just knowing in the moment doesn't assure knowledge of what comes soon after. For once the moment passes, so does the choice, and the journey proceeds alone. Her cheeks were red and burned, her fingertips were numb, yet sensitive. Her feet were tired and begged for pause, but why would she stop when nothing had changed? At least for her nothing changed, since she only cared about one thing. She was alone. Her surroundings had changed, from the dark, cluttered woodland to the moon-soaked ground glowing with a blanket of woolen water. Snow covered the area, a moon of its own, as the empty space she now found herself a part of was the most beautiful shape she had ever seen, an immaculate circle. Simplicity often escaped her, and to be greeted by this marvel, she would have been speechless if there was anyone around to hear her silence. Though no one else was to be found, she was not as entirely alone as she had believed. Situated in the center of her new world was a wolf. She wondered how she could have failed to see it sooner, but the answer to that was simple. The same question applied to everything in her life. The answer was her embodiment of that question. She failed to see the obvious because she wanted to be surprised. She refused to see the failures she created, only the successes she strove for. Knowing she wanted to achieve the impossible, she would never be finished until she had done it. The impossible took many forms, and yet they were possible for anyone who seemed not to try. When a person chases love, they often fail to love themselves. So what happens to a person who chases self-hatred? The wolf could have been invisible to anyone else. Its fur a colour unknown. Was it white like the snow? Was the snow so thick it had buried the truth beneath it? Was the wolf there at all? Only the nose, the eyes, the faintest outline seemed to be real. Could the snow only cling to something as pure as itself? Questions raced through her mind until she realized what she had been doing. Nothing. She had been standing in the open, now turning white across her body, save for the reddened cheeks she could no longer feel. Sensation in her hands a distant memory. Her legs awakened. She began to move closer to the wolf. It appeared frozen in time, or simply frozen in ice, save for one act, the same one that had forced her legs to live. A gentle howl into the stillness of the raging blizzard. The howl was pure as the chilled air that carried it, and she understood without thought. It was a howl of isolation, of complete loneliness. She gained insight through the helpless howl as she looked up above her while still edging forward. She moved forward, but did not look ahead in this moment, her eyes transfixed on the sinister sky above her, reflecting the colder counterpart to the cold ground beneath. A night void of the stars. Emptiness. It was a loving act, a cruel joke, the only time she could experience life outside herself. There was nothing to be found. The same nothing that had all but consumed her being. Before hearing the howl she wished had come from her. Closer she grew to the wolf before her, close enough now to see what she had overlooked before. Fragility embodied the wolf, its ribs exposed through the skin, but not through the snow. She had seen it. Why was the wolf here? Waiting, resting, dying in peace? No, there are no ribs here, just the snow. Where had she seen those? Now the wolf was majestic, its fur breaching through the snow. The snow. Yeah. Now nothing as the wolf became true. White fur, golden fur, purity made fur. Fur she lacked. Fur she would soon be close enough to reach out and touch. The air was rich with the scent of stale life, and the path she walked made her feel like Christ, stepping across the sea, fearless in the moment but tempted to look down, and like a rock when she was close enough, and sink like a rock when she was close enough to feel the faded warmth of the wolf's breath. She understood all but still gained one new question. The wolf was blind, so how had it survived? The darkness of its eyes, now milky and blurred. Was it always this way? Why hadn't she noticed before? The wolf was blind, but was she also? Why was she here, alongside this helpless creature? Where was the line drawn? Why draw one at all anymore? It looked not at her, but into the night. Could it have gone blind from avoiding the light? Or was it born this way, dragged through life by the mercy of others? But then it could not have survived. At least not to the degree it had before her eyes, with a soft and thick coat, a frame slender yet firm. Its entire existence seemed built for loneliness. She must touch it. As the speed of her heart reached a dizzying calm, she stretched out her hand, trying her best to keep her arms crossed, a pathetic defense against the element she challenged. The wolf remained still, fixed in its gaze. There was nothing it needed to be found with that sense. How has it survived? She needed to know, and felt the answer would be unveiled if she reached through the veil of endless snow and just gave it her heart in the form of one touch. The wind was no more as her hand touched its face, and the air seemed almost warm, except that came from within. A rush of peace and acceptance flooded her soul, and was so recently pitied became the admiration she held. The wolf shifted its head and brought its face down. It would be looking into her if it could see, and this gave her clarity as she knew. She preferred it this way. The wolf did what it must, and opened its mouth. Well-worn teeth were revealed to her, and she did not pull away. Instead she observed as it moved around her, intaking frozen flesh. This was her life, and now was her death. It made complete sense to her, in a way nothing else did. The wolf was the victim of life, but its pain ended there, as the eternal traveller would keep it well fed. She was not the first, she would not be the last. This was the life of the wolf. Eat, swallow, indulge. Many took pity before her, and came up to see the creature so fragile. They needed to know just how it could last, out there in the snow surrounded by nothing but the forest blowing by a howl every night. Could keep it alive as the loss came forward, their own choices, their ends. The wolf never starved, a glutton from birth to the eyes of the many, eyes it did not share. The woman was honest, so she made not a sound, no screams or begging. She had found her new home, a part of something beautiful she could call her duty. Joining the blood of the others that stained the ground, the blood would burst forth, wiping clean the familiar snow, replaced with a blood moon to fill the clearing's heart. The stars rejoined the sky, or had always been there. The snow still falling created a blanket, burying her remaining blood. The heavens were joined by every star they had lost, not just rejoining their space, but improving it too. And now there is a wolf, well fed and maintained, surrounded by blood atop a mass grave. The wolf knows only love, the sacrifice of us all. The wolf waits for you, and you yearn for the call. Maze. I came across an unknown maze, with towering walls and doors of shadow. I looked inside to see the pathways, but all I see is twists and turns. Strange to think, looking ahead, I could see the corners bend and curve. I could see around the whole way through, so I stepped inside and thought myself brave. Once I stepped inside, I saw the doors of shadow close behind me. No hinges holding them in place, just the darkness of the maze. Why I stepped inside is unknown. Perhaps I thought it a great trial, like Heracles had once endured, to earn the favour of the gods. I looked forward and saw the paths no more. My cheating eyes had failed me here. I was trapped inside with my own mind, and only my footsteps for echoed company. I saw the route I saw moments ago, chasing those now faded dreams of escape. But if my plan was always to leave, why did I take that first step at all? I ventured deeper, clearly lost, but a new idea came to me there. Why not leave the simple way, scale the walls, and walk the surface? I turned my gaze upwards at once, stars above raining down the mercy of heaven. I felt that rain, pure and safe. I was washed clean of my anguish. And then the ground began to swell, and the light began to pool and fill. The walls began to fade and weaken. The sky became an ocean of love. I rose gently in the rivers of joy, but I noticed then it never stopped. It kept rising and rising and rising and rising. The light erased all darkness there. The pathway out was made crystal clear, but that path would now spell death, submerged below without my breath. The light had taken up and down. Drowning in it would be a merciful end, because there was no out anymore, just light eternal, a million stars. As I sunk not knowing where, the walls appeared and gave me hope. I saw their tops and knew my goal. I moved towards my former captors. I used the walls and made my way higher. I breached the surface and gasped for air, but the air was stale and filled with pain, and so I swam back down again. Time. Like a light at the end of time, echoing through the void of life, my soul burns with the fury of one left behind. To chase something without pause, only to rewind and begin anew, trapped in a cycle of rebirth, doomed to repeat the same old flaws. Progress gets made, but never for long. As the time flows forever, the origin is lost. Nothingness stares back at me as I gaze into eternity. What will come to be is not now, though it was already yesterday. What creates the here and now, when tomorrow brings a dim reflection, just enough to change to fool the sleeping, but always a familiar face is waiting. I step outside the world I want, I look back at what once was. Violent beauty surrounds me there, and I see clear the ugly truth. Beyond this journey is only fate, written bluntly and without mercy, the same as it's been forever ago, but never losing a sick surprise. Below the start there is the same, above the end there is the same, but apart from both there is still hope, because I do not see them alone. N1. Trust in me as I give you my fresh life blood. Love me please, I'll fall and never let you go. It's agony, this feeling just never slows. It just buries in deeper and forces me open in ways I have never known. Something inside me can never repair or be complete again. A sapphire stone breaking through the abyss. A phoenix bone, no ashes to rise up again. A wolf in the sky, preparing to feed on the sheep down below. It never releases, just harder it teases these feelings of hope. Something is changing, but all that remains here is wasted and cold. I want to be free, so why am I shackled to gold-covered doors? They swing open once more. I glimpse life outside my cast-iron home. The heat is increasing, along with my breathing. It's over now. I belong in here. N2. A single star, it hovers in the night sky, and through its light we gain the day. With only one star, the darkness is taken away, until it hides itself, and we can view the void again. The darkness beyond the world, it calls to us gently, the possibility of new stars waiting, just forever out of reach. Why must they all be the same? Balls of fire calling out, reminding us we aren't alone, and the heat touches us all. The star becomes a man. I look up I look up from the world, and see his shape above the clouds. He stands firm, looking down, casting rays of gold into my eyes. If I stare too long I will be blinded with ease, yet he keeps staring, and sees only my shadow. I am nothing worth seeing. I give off no light. He stares down at me, staring into the night. The warmth on my skin, it makes me recoil in disgust, because I know what it means. He's giving me love. Love just becomes pain when I try to take it inside me. It burns me to ash. I just can't cough it up. I strip myself naked and throw myself to the flames. Please love me slowly, or I'll be scorched to my core. I'm desperate for you to see me, to not just know the shadow. I want you so badly, but it all ends the same. I look to you knowingly. I'll be blind just for a chance. Everyone feels the warmth. They get it for free. They don't burn themselves trying. They don't even care. I can't take the pain. I'm honestly just weak. When I try to grab onto the light, it shows me the truth. The beams pass between my fingers, and I watch as my palms become so clearly the shadow I tried so hard to escape. I have become a silhouette. Belonging is not for me, so I cast myself down. I fall through the clouds going further. I fall through the world after that. I fall through the cities, the machines and the noise. I fall through the dirt, into the waters below. I sink deeper now. The light is no more. The warmth has left me, as it never belonged. As I become eternally submerged, I can finally let go to this never-ending urge to never be alone. I forget the warmth and the hope. I know they weren't meant for me, and at last I am free to open my heart. I tear through my skin, and I pull at my bones. I let my blood be replaced by my new life through death. The water starts to flow in. My heart is still now. It is finally taken and kept safe in the dark. I have become a star I'll never see. N3. I hold in my hand a spark. The spark is nothing new. I feel its warmth always. It reminds me I'm not alone, and yet I cannot reach out, for when I try to touch another, the spark leaps out and burns them. It leaves a mark upon their skin, to say they will never return. The spark is crackling now. I feel it dancing around my palm, tracing soft scars into my flesh, because it knows I can never ignore anything it decides to scorch. I clench my fist around the heat. I feel it swelling and must release. The spark has become a flame. I hold in my hand a seed. The seed is new. It feels so fresh and true. It is unshapely. I don't know how to hold on. But if I keep my fingers open, it might slip away, truly gone forever. Could there ever be another? I never felt something so pure, but it isn't magical. It isn't beyond belief. It's just truly good. And that's all it should ever be. A seed can become anything. Life starts from here in my hands. But can something grow from this now? I hold my hands together. A flame so uncontrolled it would burn even ice to ashes and melt the most stoned heart. But all it ever does is burn me. I want to know the flame can be good. I want to know its crackle has meaning. I always feel it flicker away. Why can't this flame choose to stay? The seed is stirring from the fire. It begins to twirl and shows pure bliss as it embraces the molten kiss. I can see them here as my hands close together, getting so close. I fear for their future. My hands are closed. I can't see in. I panic from fear. I know what comes next. I will open my hands and see burnt love. There will be nothing left. I have killed this seed. I will turn my hands downwards, and dust will fly into the wind. I open them now. Though my eyes are closed, I feel something there. New life has appeared. There is no flame here now, no seed to fear losing. They have bonded to one, and will stay this way past the end. I hold in my hands a flower. Dreams. I am sitting in my home, surrounded by only the familiar. Safety is a certainty here, and my thoughts are free to wander. But now I know I must venture forth, into the world I should also call home, so why does it feel so strange and new, as though a shadow rests across it all? Everything looks the same to me, the buildings I know, the streets also. The trees glow green in the heat, the trees glow green in the heart of winter, the ground coated white in the summer sun. This is not the world I know, yet it has known me since I first closed my eyes. Without a purpose, I follow my path, a force outside myself calling me closer. Stepping into the past, I open a door. My future set in stone harder than the walls around me, walls which haven't aged since I was last here. A school should be a place of learning. Mine was always devoid of truth, teaching only a lie the world lives by. The strong deserve whatever they hold tightest. I am now strong to survive that lie, but might means nothing in the face of nothing. With nothing before you, what do you strike? With nothing against you, how do you resist? And nothing awaits me as I continue on. There is a slight chill in the air, but that's unsurprising. From somewhere so isolated, if a building could be lonely, this would embody that feeling, as structures surround it, but do not make themselves relevant. This one stands among them, but it is not one of them. A corpse still standing with the crowd, belongs as much as I do returning here. The hallways are empty, yet the doors are fixed closed. Whoever was last here took what was left of them in hope. If there was ever anyone here, besides myself before, and come again once more. I know not why I must go, but the instinct is clear. To the second floor I make way. The echoes of my footprints can be seen by the blind. The stillness of my lungs is like a scream to the deaf. At the top of the stairs behind me, I can see clearly through the corridor. Windows line one side, a wall supports the other, and and a bathroom marked at the end. I must open that door. My legs are like gears with a mind of their own, grinding together in perfect synchronization. My feet are numb, merely slaves to the paths they must walk. My hand rests on the handle. It trembles in peace. I push lightly forward. This is why I exist. The door is now opened. Violent darkness rips my soul. The strength of 10,000 angels taken a hold of me, never releasing. I cannot be free. This is the abyss come to punish and judge. I am still stood there frozen, and I am removed from this earth. A mirror stands there idly, watching me from the wall. At the end of the room, it laughs at my silent screams. The sound can escape my throat as much as I can escape the pull of the mirror staring into me. I turn my eyes away in shame. I can see freedom looking back at me, while the mirror need only wait, knowing I must return. How long has this lasted now? A cycle I've become familiar with. I turn away. I am turned back. Everything now filling my eyes is black and tainted to the core, a void of nightmares pouring forth. This is the least I deserve. My sins have now found me. A picture of my spirit awaits there, reflections of my life reaching out and touching me. The touches are as gentle as my thoughts had been towards the world before the mirror turned those thoughts back towards me in their full glory. I have become a cork plugging the wine, and the screw will set it free. I will be discarded, so the beauty may flow out after me. Each time I look away, the force gets stronger, enraged by my defiance, punishing accordingly. It is not quiet, this nameless entity. The more I yell out, the more it roars back at me, merely responding in kind to my pathetic whispers of pain. I nearly touched the dark glass then, until my fear raised my strength. I can look away longer now, from the soul-ripping sun, contained here for my sake, perhaps by me one day, a time not so distant, but forgotten all the same. Nothing here is outside me, just contained within a frame. If I touch it, I'll die. I don't think I'm ready just yet. I turn for the last time. I lay here awake. I am in a place I do not know, surrounded by construction and scaffolding, though everything here seems incomplete, instead simply made to be fragmented, a playground of exploration. The sky is a mellow shade of grey, with fresh water rippling throughout. Light clouding swims beneath the hidden stars, sunlight still soaking a world frozen in time. This world is new to me, but I already knew everything about it. It is my world, down to the last atom. The nature of this new world can't hide from me. I have the ultimate perspective. My word is always final. I play in my planet, running and dancing as I please. I have no obligation here. I know each flaw, each grace. A girl approaches me. I do not know her. I float through the consciousness of life here. No thought escapes me when I am them all. She is afraid and panicked and quick. She needs my help. I can't ask why. I believe her fear. Her eyes aren't hidden from me. She wants us to run, to attempt hiding in this foreign world. She fears for her life in a way I only know from my nightmares. I trust her with my life. She has no choice but to trust me with hers. I am her lifeline, because she doesn't belong here, and she has no way out. She takes my hand and begins to run. Her grip is tight, but not for my sake. We both know I could follow along with ease. A different reason compels her to hold me. Reassurance is her last fleeting comfort. Her only friend is hope. If she lets go, I might fade away. Company keeps her sane enough to keep moving. Her pace is frantic and determined, no hesitation in her steps. Impulse carries her forward with me in tow. I want to save her with all my heart. From whatever fate she knows awaits her, we could survive together. Hold on to each other as we leave this place, perhaps enter a more familiar life soon after. Images of home are forgotten in the chase. Chasers unknown are a simple danger. On a primal level, this knowledge burns. A new pathway emerges into sight. A doorway to our left, cut into the barely constructed framework. A respite from the pursuers. Moments stretch long enough to catch our breath. Hope is keeping her alive. Hope must be given full faith. I give my faith over to this failure. I give my faith over to this future, passing through the doorway there, taking her in and giving her sanctuary. She is not there. My hand is empty. I try to turn. The figures have appeared. This room is their new home. Arrayed in black robes, almost comical and cliché, their skin is barely visible, completely uncovered arms, still shrouded in dust, incalculable masses, but still so few. Their presence amounts to multitudes. I'll only remember two. There stands one to my right, almost on all fours, feral and ferocious lust. Blood will be its fuel. There stands still one closer, taking up my whole view. It faces down towards me while towering overhead. I see no face through its hood, though, just darkness and void. The abyss stares back at me, and waits for my heart to slow. I understand her fear now. I share it in full. I will still save her, if only I could move. Unbound are my hands, my feet free to turn. Only my eyes will glance over. She's not long for this world. Through the haze in my mind, I am able to see her in full, though only for the briefest moment. She screams, but I do not hear her. She is writhing in agony, and only she understands the pain. Her very essence seems to evaporate, yet still she is frozen there. Her eyes reveal her suffering. She's experiencing an eternity of torment, condensed into the most passing of moments. Anyone looking onwards would think it merciful, except for me, because her soul touched mine. I would help her, but she no longer exists. Her being is replaced by her undoing. I wonder if her body is real, if this is only her spirit I see now, or if the spirit is long gone, and this is her body clawing into the void, trying to find a new purpose without life. The beast devouring her is hell. It has been removed from goodness, leaving behind a manic shell of cruelty. All it knows is suffering. It shares its knowledge out of love, love in the only form it understands, ripping away her flesh without leaving a scratch. There can be no scars if there is no skin, and a scar beneath the skin would never be seen. Where it has made a home in her, I will never discover. But it is in her, a part of her new reality. She now knows true love. Disgust has filled my mind, only held together by fear and confusion. My head will explode with new insight. I am beginning to understand why I am. I see the world collapsing in on me. I am the new center of creation. They bow down to me in my dreams. My nightmares are always real. I see all around me falling into place. Nowhere can escape my view. They fear the eyes of new light. I am scared for her, this girl I gave my trust to, as she trusted also in me, depending on me for her survival, and now she has found only death, stretching on for all of time, beyond time, reaching into everywhere. I can no longer look upon her. She has become alone now. I am separated from her even now, as the figure above me stares down patiently. He waits. I look upon his form. It is familiar in its strangeness. It is walking dread. Without speaking, it calls to me. It steps through the darkness. The shadow within my eyes has grown, walking with the calmness of water as it wears through a lonely cliffside. Voices are distinct and personal. They show us the depth of the speaker. We feel those vibrations softly, giving us final perception of who cries for us. His voice has no warmth, because there is no speaker. He has no mouth. His body seems barely real, imagined into this world for this purpose, and it will fade away again soon, never having lived. His voice is soft. Trust is a weapon belonging to the weak. They cannot force, so they must charm and beguile. He talks slowly. He has no hidden meanings within his words. They are sharp and clear. He wants me to know he tells the truth, just a truth of abuse, riddled with deception and isolation. I hear him tell me he can make me forget. I can leave behind the twisted memories of her now twisted body. I can go back to a life of meaningless nothings, hoping to one day have value in a world I hate. I saw her final form, one of brutalized malice and abandonment. If I took that with me, carried the sight burned into my vision, shared it with the weak of heart, it would spread her fate to all who accepted her. I take his offer. I want to forget her. She gave me love. I gave her death. It is easier to forget that failure than tear backwards through my own history trying to repair it. I float. I am dragged upwards through the air. Without moving, I am released. I followed his commands. I know how I must forget. Look into his faceless hood. See him and let him see me. I will be purged of sadness, replaced with apathy. But I pull away. I am as afraid of his care. I am as afraid of his care, even when it feels undeserved. He tries to reassure me. Remind me that this is what I want. Take it from me then. Give me something new I'll treasure. Take away the pain so I can become free. I stare deeper, piercing the veil of his character. Behind the false darkness, there is nothing. Darkness itself shines when behind him, and there is nothing even deeper still. My darkness flows out through him, beyond us both, into the quiet abyss he cannot escape. We are one in this moment. I see now where I belong. It is over. I am in the world familiar to me. I am alone. I dance in joy and celebration, without knowing why. I am happy here alone. Alone is my natural state. It is my right by birth. I skip across the rocks, they shatter beneath my feet. The might of my brilliance is radiant. I have no one to hurt me. I cannot be contained. This is not good, but it feels like greatness, stitching me together in peace. I see myself. Where has that magnificence gone? I am awake. I know this place. So why don't I belong here? Everywhere always feels the same. A cold world, I am cold within. Deeply linked together, we age into stillness. Always. But not here. My silence has become song. The darkness is nowhere in me. Only sparkles of harmony echo within. And I am happy with this world. I want to explore. Discovery awaits me now. I want to know it all. Surrounding me now are those who never loved me, though I begged for their affection. They never understood why I needed it, why I always begged for more, when they had given me their charity. Who are these then now, who treat me with such gentleness? Where did they go, the ones whose own faces... The ones who own these faces, replaced now by loving pretenders? I give myself over to them, knowing this will not last, because I will be like the rest, looking out from the inside, compared to peeking in without a welcome. I see golden rays, blanketing the most lonely of creatures. Blades of grass are mountains now. We all share in the love of God. This is our ultimate gathering, experienced early by no one, but those who could never come here without finding their way back. Whatever this means, I accept it. Why I was given a fresh start, I will never know. But this place is my personal sanctuary. I will not lose this hope. Even when I am pulled away, I know this world awaits me. I belonged here once. They will see when I no longer do, and give me care, rather than rejection. I will survive for them, as they want to survive for me. We need each other, though not one there is alone. It is a shared understanding, we all see it now, but only they are a part of it. I merely came where I was led. I wish to be more like them. One day I will be. We will escape the life of waking, slipping through our sleep into dreams and beyond. Dreams become the doorway to more. We are the more. I am the more. I have one purpose, to be good enough, to earn their trust and love. So why does it feel so far away? I can sense nothing but suffering, until the final moments. I will lose this self, I will lose my failures. It makes sense when I close my eyes, but they are always open. This is my journey, from the end to the last, unobtainable rest. I am here, but for how long? If I wake up now, will I ever want to sleep again?